Hi guys, my name is Ferdy and in this video I will show you how you can translate your website with ease and really fast using the Weglot plugin. Let me show you what we are going to cover in this tutorial. We will sign up for a free account and download the Weglot plugin to our WordPress website. You can also integrate it with Shopify, BigCommerce and Jimdo. I will show you how to configure the plugin, adding languages, placing the language buttons in your menu or somewhere else in your website, how to configure the language buttons, how to save it, and voila, our website is now multilingual. Weglot has an amazing built-in translation tool that will translate your complete website just like that. You can exclude certain areas in your website from being translated, or you can exclude complete pages to be translated. After the automatic translation, you can adjust the translation manually through the translation list or the visual editor. Since Weglot scans your website on all words, you will have no trouble with certain plugins that cannot be translated. Weglot also translates your WordPress plugins, sidebars, buttons and webshop in one click. Do you want to change the translation? Just click on it and change it. You can even change the images and logos on your website depending on the translation that is shown on your website. And you can automatically let visitors from a certain country see the website in their own language. This is by far the best translation plugin I've ever seen. We will take a look at the possibilities with the free version and the extra features with the paid versions. If you like what you're seeing so far, please like this video, and if you're new here, please consider to subscribe to this YouTube channel and turn on the notification icon. When I upload a new video, you will get a notification. Now let's get started. So in this video I will make use of the website oceansferdy.com, and what you see over here is a beautiful website in English with a lot of text and a lot of content. So if I go to a different page, there's more text, all in English, and I want to translate it to Dutch. I want to have a Dutch flag over here so visitors can see the website in Dutch. And normally you should buy a translation plugin, configure everything, and after that you need to translate everything manually. But with Weglot, it's totally different. I can show you how I can translate this website in Dutch within a few minutes. So I will show you how it's done, and after that we'll dive a little bit deeper into Weglot and I will show you more things you can do with the plugin. So let's go to ferdycorp.com, then we go to resources, to plugins, and here it is, Weglot. And it comes with a free version and you have also paid versions. Let's start with the free version. I click on it, I click on more details and we go to weglot.com. It says make your website multilingual, and it's through a translation API that integrates seamlessly into your website and delivers it in any language. So let's try it out. Start your 10-day free trial. I click on it and I need to fill in my email address. I need to create a password and I need to confirm that password. And I start my free trial. Thank you, you just received an email. So I go to my email account over here. I refresh it and it says confirm your email. So I click over here on this link and now I can log in. So I log in with oceans@ferdycorpzoek.com and my homemade password. And I click on login and it says let's get started. I need my API key. So I copy it or I click over here and I copy it. I go to my website to the backend and I go to plugins, add new, and I search for Weglot. And it's this one. And when you see this, it has probably more installs because it is growing like crazy. It has a lot of 5-star reviews. It's the best reviewed plugin in the WordPress area. So I click on install now and I activate it. And this will blow your mind what will happen after we configure this. I can configure this over here, and if you don't see that, you scroll down here at the left, we go to Weglot and you need to fill in your API key, which is this one. I paste it, and what we need to say now is what is the original language of your website. Well, if you take a look at my website, it is English. So I leave it at English. What kind of language do I want to translate it to? So here you see all the languages there are. There are a lot. And in my case, I want it to be Dutch. So I search for Dutch and it appears over there. Right now we have a 10-day trial, so you can add more languages. But if you want to keep the free plan, you can only choose one language and a maximum of 2,000 words for your website. So if you have a nice website of your business with less than 2,000 words, then you can use a free plan. If you want to have more languages, then you can upgrade in 10 days. So for now, I only say Dutch. And over here you see the language button appearance. How do we want it to be shown? Right now we see the flag and we see which country it is, English or Dutch. Do we want it as a drop down? Then you can check this and it looks like that. When you have more than 2 languages, it is probably the best option. I uncheck it. Do I want to show the flags? I can uncheck it and it looks like that. I like the flags, so I turn them on. What type of flags? A circle or a square, a rectangle shiny, or rectangle matte. I like this one. Do I want it with name? If I do not want that, I only see this. I want it with name and I can have the full name or just like this. If you're familiar with CSS, you can style your buttons even further using CSS code. And if you go to this icon and you click on support and you search for CSS, you can also find more information about this subject. So right now it looks like this and I want to remove the names. So I see that. The language button position. Where will the language button be on my website? By default, the bottom right. So if I uncheck this and I save the changes and I refresh my website, you'll see it over here. And if I would click on Dutch, everything will be in Dutch. So let's do that. I love this. This is amazing. With a few clicks, we changed our complete website into Dutch. What I also really like is that you see the /NL over here. So if I would go to information or about, it says like this, NL/about us. And if I go back to English, I go to the original website. So with a few clicks, we made our complete website in Dutch besides English. So that's amazing. And if you scroll down, it sticks over here. And let's configure this further. I close this and I scroll down again. And over here, the language button position. By default, it will be at the bottom right. I want it to be in the menu, so I check that. And you can add it as a widget. We'll take a look at that later with a shortcode and with a source code. What you also can do is exclude certain areas in your website. So for instance, if I would say the contact page, I do not want it to be translated in Dutch, then I grab the link after the domain, I paste it over here and I can save the changes and then the contact page will not be shown in Dutch. We can also exclude blocks. So let me see. So if I go to the homepage, for instance, and I go to view developer, view source, and I grab this tag over here, copy, and I would bring it here. Then the site navigation will not be translated. So let's try it. I save the changes. I refresh the page. And now if I would go to Dutch, you see this menu will still be in English. Although this is in Dutch, this is in Dutch. The menu is in English. Why? Because over here, I added that this area, this block, should not be translated. So if I would say comma, and I would see something else, for instance, the sidebar, I can paste it over here and also that area will not be translated. And if I remove it and I save the changes and I refresh the page in Dutch, you see it is in Dutch. But if I go to the contact page, it will go to contact. Why? Because I excluded the contact page over here, so it will not be translated. So if I go to Elementor Pro, above you see the nav menu, and I would say I want it to be in Dutch. Then you see it in Dutch, but if I would go to the contact page, it goes back to the English version. So in that way you can exclude URLs over here. And if you want to exclude more pages, for instance the blog page, copy this over here, enter, paste, save the changes, and I go to blog. And what you see is that the flag disappeared. Why? because you cannot see this in Dutch. So if I go to About Us, then the flag will appear. If I go to Blog or Contact, it will disappear. But if I would remove it again over here, and I save it, and I refresh the page, it appears and I can bring it back to Dutch. This is Dutch. This is Dutch. And the great thing is everything will be translated. So what else can we do? If I customize the website or I go to the widgets, I scroll down and I see 4 widget areas. I see this one is very short, this widget. So I go to widgets, footer 2. I can add a widget and I just search for Weglot Translate. I click on it, choose a language. And depending on the theme you use, you can see those bullets or not. I can remove them with a CSS code, but for now I do not mind. I publish it and I close this. So I'm at the contact page watching the website in Dutch. And over here I can choose a language and it says kies een taal, which is Dutch. So I choose English. And now everything is in English. And if I go to the About page, I scroll down. I can choose the language. So if I would say Dutch, look at this. This is really great. It is made with a machine that gets better and better in translating your website to any language. But sometimes you need a human touch. We'll take a look at that later. Let's take a look. Over here, I see this in Dutch and it really looks great. And over here, you see capital and here you don't. So that are things you can change. And sometimes you need to change the way the sentence is written. But it looks like this website is made by a Dutch person, which is really great. Everything, also this over here, this over here, this over here, all in Dutch. And with other plugins, you need to use special modules in order to change things from other plugins. And here it's all changed at once. And what it does, Weglot, it's parsing all the text in your website. It's kind of screening the whole website on every text there is. And that text will be translated. So Weglot cannot say, I don't know this plugin, so I cannot translate it. It's just not working like that. It sees a button in English and it automatically changes it to a different language. So that is great. What else can we do? Over here, we have used it as a widget. You can use it with a shortcode, which is this one. You can place it wherever you want to place the button. So if I go to my website, over here for instance, and I edit it with Elementor, let me see, I drag a text editor here below, or I just click over here and below, enter, I paste it, and I bring it to the center. Update. Let's take a look. And now you see it over here. And depending on the theme, it has a different style. Right now it has this with the bullets. I will remove it. Update. What else can we do? We can use it in the source code using this area. So once again, I scroll down and over here, I search for HTML. I drag it between the button and the text. I paste the code, update, and there it is. I click on it and I go to the Dutch website. So how can we translate the Dutch translation? Close this. And I go to information and I want to change this. How can I do that? I go to the backend. I go to the Weglot plugin over here. And if we want to edit the translation that Weglot has made, then you click over here, edit my translations, and you will be directed to weglot.com. And what you can see over here is that it's a free trial, 10 days remaining. The current word usage is 1500, which is still within the free package. And I've not done any translation manually. And the number of languages are 1. So if I want to edit the Dutch translation, I can do it a few different ways. Over here, I see the translations list. I click here and I see there are 272 translations found. And here it says about us, and it is translated with informatie. If I go to my website, I want about us to be translated with over ons. And if I say okay, it says human reviewed. And in that way, I can see I've translated this already myself, so I do not need to do it again. And if I want to review all the machine translations manually, I can select, I want to see only the machine translated things. If I have more languages, I can select the language English to Dutch. I can search for translations, for instance, Elementor, and it translates Elementor with element, but I still want it to be Elementor. So, but I see the same over here and here. Change this and change this, yes. There are also translation tools. So I click over here and I can do two things. I can do translation exceptions. For instance, never translate Elementor. Never change it because Elementor is the name of the page builder. So I added the rule and I want to add a new one, which is never change Elementor Pro. And I add the rule. So if I go to Elementor Pro, you see Elementor Pro over here and Elementor Pro. If I would go to the Dutch language, it should say Elementor Pro. And you see the Elementor Pro is still Elementor Pro. So you can add rules and you can also say search and replace. So let me see if I see something that should be changed differently. So if I want to change the word did with a different word, let me see. Search and replace. Replace did by deze. Replace, and it will replace it everywhere in the website. It says it's on 8 places. So if I would refresh this, it is changed, but not only here, but on 7 different places. So in that way, you can change words on different pages when you see it's not translated correctly. So you can translate 2 ways. Let me go back to the translation list. And I can search for creation date or last seen. I can change the amount of translations that will be shown per page. I can filter on a certain URL. So if I want to translate everything on the contact page, then I go over here and I search for contact. And I can change all those things over here. Let me see. And over here, this is the website, email, and phone. And the phone in Dutch is an F. So I would change the P to an F or M of mobile phone. And then I need to save the translation. We can filter by content type. We can also do media. So over here, you see this image. Maybe on a Dutch website, I want to translate it to a different logo. Then I can change the logo. For instance, logo NL for Dutch. And if I upload this logo to the same place, but with the NL next to it, you can change it. I want to show it to you. I change this color to orange because that's the color of Dutch, like that. I save it for the Korpshoek logo and I say NL. Then I go over here. Let me see uploads Verticorp logo. And here I say Verticorp logo NL. So what I can do now, I can upload a logo, choose a file, which is this one. Open. That's it. I go to Weglot. I save it. And now I go to the website. In English, it is this logo. And in Dutch, it is the orange logo. So here's the green one and here's the orange one. And that's how you can change images on your website. So that's the orange one and the green one. So over here I see Korpshoek Productions and I miss the capital over here and I could do this in the Dutch language. How can we do that? We just use the translations list, but you can also use the visual editor. And now it's getting really crazy. Let's take a look. I click on Start Editing. And now here is our website. And we can just change everything. So I can say I want this to be in Dutch. There it is. I can click over here. And I can say, ja, verdient het om gezien te worden. Oké. And there it is. Portfolio is oké. Contact. Fotografie, videografie, web design. And this is translated really well. But I can click on it and translate it even better. So let's read it. Photos without capitals. Okay, and now it's translated. Over here. Okay. The third one. Okay. That's how it works. I just enhance the translation, and in that way I can save a lot of time. What customers say about us. Here there's a small problem. Gwen and David. Okay. Also here, you can just change it. It's really easy to do that. Even the titles of blog posts, you can change them over here. So I can go back. And now I go to the home page by clicking on the logo. And I see all the changes that I just made, which is amazing. So even if you have a web shop, I have one in my website. So if I go to shop, you see everything in English, filter by price, product categories, ebook, how to become an online entrepreneur. And if I go to the Dutch language, it's all translated. Filter on price, product categories, how to become an online entrepreneur. And if I want to leave this title as this, I go to the visual editor, start editing. I go to shop, to the Dutch language. I click over here and I say how to become an online entrepreneur. Okay. I can click on it. I can even adjust this. I can adjust everything. So if I go to my website and I say I want to get this, I view my cart and I say go to the cart. Even here, everything is in Dutch. And if I want to change the translation over here, I click on the link, I copy it, I paste the link over here. And I click on go. It says my cart is empty. So I need to go to the shop. And I should edit over here, add to the cart. And now if I view the cart, I proceed to the checkout. And I go to the Dutch language. I can change it. This is a really bad translation, so I click here and I remove this. Okay. Here you see 2 times the same thing. So that's how you can translate your websites. I go back, and if I go to the home page, I see my current word usage is now bigger. And why is that? Because Weglot is still working on translating my website. It can take a while before everything is translated. So right now I still have the free trial of 10 days. But after that I need to change my plan because I have more than 2000 words. And if you have that, then you need to get a paid plan. There is a different way to change the translation of your website. And that is professional translations. and then you can hire someone that will do the translation for you. So you can click over here or here, and then you can start and let someone else translate everything in the language you want it to be translated, and then you pay per word. I think about 8 cents per word. Then we have the project settings. Right now it's called My Website. I click over here. I can change the project name, for instance, to Oceans 30.com. This is the website. The technology is WordPress, automatic translation, and I can save the changes. What else can we do? I can add project members that are people that can translate the website but do not have access to my website itself. If I want to do that, I need to upgrade. I'll talk about it later. I can also say, okay, I've done the trial, I want to delete it, and I can delete the project. And when I delete the project, all the Dutch translations on my website will be gone. So this page does not exist anymore. So let's talk about the pricing. I will log out and I go to pricing. No commitment, no credit required. So we have a 10-day trial. After 10 days, they do not charge us all of a sudden. Then we can leave our payment details and then we can choose a plan. So there are no strings attached. And over here, you can see what the plans are. Right now we have the free trial, up to 2000 words. You can have extra words, you can have extra languages. It's all part of the trial. If you want to have a starter plan, you pay €9.90 per month. I see the price in euros, but you will probably see them in dollars. You can translate 10,000 words. You can have one extra language, so in my case English and Dutch. You can have 20,000 monthly translated page views, and you can have access to pro translators, and here it says 8 cents per word. And you can have visitors language redirection, which means that when somebody from the Netherlands goes to my website, it will automatically be shown in the Dutch language, and when someone from the United States will visit my website, it will be shown in English. Then we have the business plan, €90 per month. You can translate 50,000 words. You can have 5 extra languages, so a total of 6 languages. 50,000 monthly translated page views. So if your main language is English and your second language is Dutch, and 40,000 people visit your English pages and 40,000 people visit your Dutch translated pages, so you have a total of 80,000 people that visit your website, this package is still for you because it talks only about the translated pages. So not about the pages of the main language of your website. And again, the same settings. If you go to Pro, you can have more words, you can have unlimited languages, so you can have 60 languages if you want to. You can have 200,000 monthly translated page views, and there are a few different features. You can have 3 different websites where you can have unlimited languages. You can have unlimited team members. You can have translated page view statistics, and everybody has premium support. So if you take a look at unlimited team members, that means that if there's a person in your team that is really good in Dutch, then you can say, you know what, you get access to my website to translate everything in Dutch. What you also can do is go to Fiverr.com, search for translate to Dutch. I will translate Dutch or English to German. You can hire them, you can give them access, and they cannot edit anything in your page except for the translations, and in that way you can have your page translated by adding a member. Then we have enterprise, more words, 15 websites, and then we have corporate, which is 5 million words, 5 million monthly translated page views, and unlimited websites. What you also can do is pay per year, and then you get 2 months upfront for free. So you pay a bigger amount, but you get a discount. So that's the pricing. Let's talk about adding members to your team. Right now, I will use my website, 30corp.com, which is actually 30corpshoek.com. I will log in and I will show you the process really quick. I go to plugins, add new. I search for Weglot. Install now. I activate it. I have a pro license over here, so I can have 3 websites, and I create a new project, which I call 30corpshoek.com. The technology is WordPress. I click on next. Here's the API key. I copy it. And over here, I go to Weglot. I paste it. The language is English. I want to have Dutch and German. I want it to be in the menu and I save it. I can edit the language and there it is. If I say Dutch, it looks like that. And everything is Dutch, which is great. Now I go to Weglot. I click on it, 30 corpshoek come, and I go to project settings. What I say now, I will add a member. So I say 30 corpushoek@gmail.com can be a manager or a translator. I can see some role permissions over here. A manager can edit translations, add translation rules, order professional translations and manage team members. And translators can edit translations, add translation rules and order professional translations, but they cannot delete the project, modify your subscription or manage team members. So you can even add a manager that will add other team members, or you can add translators. If I would say manager, I add the member and it is added. Now I log out. I go to gmail.com and I got a message. You've been invited to join 30 corpshoek translation project. In order to access, I need to register. So I need to create my own password, confirm it, start the free trial. I need to confirm my email, and there I am. So I'm a manager, so I can use the visual editor. I start editing and I go for the Dutch language. So I adjust it. Okay. So I'm logged in as 30 corpshoek@gmail and I'm able to change translations in the website. But if I want to change things in the website, I want to change the menu, I cannot do that. I can click on places, for instance, make a website within 1 hour. I have a lot of text over here. If I click on Dutch, it's all in Dutch now. This whole text, there are a lot of words. And I can change it. And what I could do, if it is translated, I can use it as a transcription on my YouTube video. So I also have Dutch subtitles instead of only English subtitles. So that's also a great thing about Weglot. They translate it for me and I can use it like that. I go back and now you see I have a lot of words that I'm using and I can use all the tools. So that's one thing we can do. I will log out. I log in. With my pro account, I go to the project settings of 30corp.com, project settings, and I want to enter another email address. So I say 30corp@gmail.com, but this time I'm not a manager, but I'm a translator. So I add a translator, I add the member. Now he's invited, so I go to my Gmail. This time 30corp and I can join again, register, start a free trial. I confirm my email and there I am. But if I would log out and I log in with 30corpushoek@gmail.com and I go to the project settings, I can remove this translator. But if I would log in as a translator, 30corp@gmail.com, and I go to the project settings, I cannot delete those others. So you have the owner, you have the manager, and you have the translator. Keep in mind that when you have more languages that you want to translate in a website, for instance, right now, I have 3 on 30corpshoek.com. And if I have 5,000 words on my website, that it will translate to Dutch in around 5,000 words, but also in German. So it will be a total of 10,000 words. So the more languages you have that you want to translate in your website, the more words will be translated and the bigger the plan is that you need in order to translate all those words. Thank you for watching this video. If you have a question, please leave a comment. If you like the video, please like it. And if you haven't done so, please consider to subscribe to this YouTube channel and turn on the notification icon. And in that way you'll be notified when I upload a new video. Have a great day and you will see me the next time. Bye bye.